Hi, this is Linear Algebra 2.7, Applications to Computer Graphics. We're going to learn with the spreadsheet. A lot of people do this with actual computer programming. This is not a programming course, but I think the spreadsheet makes it very accessible to us. And so we're going to multiply 3 by 3 matrices and 3 by other thing matrices and different things like that. And we want to set the spreadsheet up to do that. Very similar to your Scooby-Doo project that you did earlier. So we want to make this letter Z, that's all these coordinates connected together. So we're going to do a scatter plot connected. So take out your spreadsheet, and if you click right here, that will highlight all these, and then I can go ahead and change this so that the size of each cell is a little bit smaller. So there's my coordinates to make the Z. I'm going to add in the beginning point again, and so then I have that yellow. Also, what we're going to do is make this homogeneous. Homogeneous means that we're going to take anything in R2 and make it viable for us in R3. So I can just take the same number over and over again and put it as my third coordinate. So this is like my Z coordinate here. Now to format this, I can make this yellow by on the home. I just want to punch the yellow there, and that should work. And then I want to also create these grids, so I can go here and make all borders, and that will do that there, and then I can do that there. So that makes it nice to show me my matrix. So now we're just going to plot these XY coordinates. We're going to ignore the Z. If I hold down the shift and do the first and last, that will highlight everything. Then I want to go insert, and I want to insert a scatter plot that is connected. There's my Z. I'm going to resize, and then you can change the type of scatter plot you want to, as if you want straight lines or curvy lines. So now I want to create my transformational matrices A, B, and C. When we apply these transformations, whatever your first transformation is going to be your A, then we're going to multiply it by B, and we're going to multiply it by C. You have to put these in this order. So this would be your first transformation, and then if you put this as your second, it's going to be B times A times my Z. So that's the order you put it in. So the next step, I'm just going to start these all off as identity matrices. So I already typed in C and B, and then you can just type in this one for A, and then you have your 3 matrices that we're going to use for our transformations. And voila, there we go. Now I want to set up AZ, so I highlight that, and I want to go ahead and format that. I'm going to change the color though, because these are ones that I'm going to compute. So this one's going to be a blue one now. So if I want this cell right here, what I want to do is I want to take my matrix A, and I'm going to use the row going across, and I'm going to multiply it by Z, which would be this column going down. So if I set up this first formula, equals, so I'm going to go A times, and you can just click on these cells because that's how we're going to do it. So plus, then I can do this one going across, times this one going down, plus this one going across, and times this one going down. Okay, so there's my formula. Now I want to make this formula more useful for myself, and so what I want to do is I want to put in some dollar signs so that I can fill down here and then go ahead and fill across here. And if I do that, everything else should fall into place. So notice with the A matrix, I am doing rows. So it'd be that row, which is in the 6th row here, and then I got the 7th, and then I have the 8th. So I want this to change from 6, 7, and 8. This one here, I have the B and the 1, 2, and 3. I don't want the 1, 2, and 3 to change, but I want the B, C, D. I want the E also to change. So if I look at this formula again, I want the J to always be there. So I'm going to put a dollar sign before the J. And then I'm going to go ahead to the B1. I want the 1 to stay. So I'm going to put a dollar sign in the 1. So now before the letter of the first one, and then the number of the second one. And then that will fix everything such that when I fill down and fill right, everything should work for my matrix. Okay? So then I hope that gives you a little bit better view of it. Now all I'm going to do is take this, fill it down, and then I'm going to fill it to the right. for my 9 cells. And voila, there are my new values for AZ. Now it just gives me the identity, but how about if we change this? Notice that this is also blocking. So I do have this block right here, which is equivalent for my 2 by 2. And then I do have a block right here as 1 cell, and then these 2, and then these 2. Okay? So that helps us figure this thing out. This is in 2 dimensions if I'm doing it. And then I added the homogeneous to say that if I want to go to 3 dimensions, I can. Now this doesn't make the Z 3-dimensional, but it adds another layer so that I can do translations later. So then I can go ahead and plot AZ. So I'm going to go insert and then do a spreadsheet, scatter plot again. This is the one that's connected with, there it is. Okay, now if you notice the scale, this goes to 6, this one goes to 12. So I'm not going to appropriately put the proportions in here, but it's going to be twice the size because I did a scalar, but I put it into a matrix with the identity, and then that made it twice as big. So my ultimate goal now is to do 2 transformations on my Z, and then 3 transformations on my Z. In order to do that, I have to multiply these in order. This would be your first transformation, second transformation, third transformation. In order to this BAZ, I guess there's a way to do it all in one, but I'm going to do BA first, and then I'm going to do CBA first to get each one of these respectively. Try it and see if you can do it. It should be just filling in this upper left-hand corner with dollar signs in the appropriate spots and then filling down and right. And same thing here. So here's my setup, nice color-coded here. So I use these 3 to multiply by these 3 respectively. So then the question is what do I want to have increment here? I want F, G, and H to stay the same, but I want to go from 6 to 7 to 8. So the F, G, and H are what I'm going to put dollar signs on before them. So that fixes them in, so they do not change when I fill down and fill right. Notice the A. I want the 6, 7, and 8 to always stay the same, but then I want to increment J, K, L. So here's the 6, so I put the dollar sign before the 6 there, not there, but then I put one here on the 7, and then I put one here on the 8. And that should work it out for me. And so if I do this, I can only go in 1 dimension first, and then I should have my matrix that I want. Try the rest of them then. CBA. Now for BAZ, obviously I'm going to take this BA and then multiply it by Z. So these rows going across, these columns, vectors going down. So check your numbers. If you put these numbers in, then they should be equivalent to what I have going here, as long as I did everything right. And so let's check a few things. So if I want to check, for instance, this cell right here and see if this calculation is correct, I go up here, click on the bar. Now look at what it does. This is the second row, third item over. So I need the second row, third item over, or third column. That will give me this cell right here. Notice how it lights up. Wow, is that nice? Isn't that slick? Now if you go and click on another cell right now, it's going to enter it into your formula. So be careful. Click the little green arrow and you're okay. Now if you do start clicking on everything, so like if I start clicking here and then there and then, oh, it didn't do anything. Okay. But if I do click here and then I put accidentally a plus sign or something like that and start clicking, it's just going to keep on adding these things in. Okay, so then that's something extra I didn't want. So I just go to this red check, it will revert to whatever I had before. There it is, back to where it was. So you can check any one of these cells to see if you did kind of do the proper multiplication. So here's third row and then third column, 3, 3, position 3, 3. Really nice to show the multiplication there. Really nice, I think. Okay, so this sets up your spreadsheet. I want you to plot both of these, and then you can start playing with these and do the problems that are in the notes. I'll try to make another video about the notes specifically and see where they're at, but at least this gets you the spreadsheet. Plot this graph, plot this chart, as a Z and plot this one as a Z, and then you should be in business. All right, this is the start of computer graphics, linear algebra. I like this a lot. Have a great day. I hope you do too.